Hi, it's Patrick Hutzel here again from Intensive Care Hotline with another weekly update. This week I want to quickly talk about what the doctors and the nurses' behavior in intensive care is telling you about the culture in a unit. Your loved one has just been admitted to intensive care and is being treated for their critical illness. You feel like some of the doctors and the nurses are talking at you and over you and don't necessarily talk with you. You feel like you're not in a good place, and you may feel like there's a big barrier between you and the health professionals that are in charge of your critically ill loved one's destiny. You may have been asked to get out of the room or the cubicle every time the doctors are doing their ward round and examine your loved one, and you may have wondered whether they've got anything to hide. When you are allowed to come back, they have already moved on, and the bedside nurse is giving you a summary and update of the plan ahead. Of course, you can wait for one of the doctors to talk to you later in the day what is going to happen to your critically ill loved one. About 10 minutes later, the bedside nurse is asking you kindly to leave the room again, as she wants to quickly turn your loved one to the other side so that he or she doesn't get a pressure sore. 10 minutes go by, and even half an hour go by before you are allowed to get back in. You realize that you have little or no control, let alone have a say of what's happening to your critically ill loved one. The very person that you share a house with, the very person that you love, or the very person that is of your own flesh and blood. All of a sudden, there are people creating all these barriers around you, and you feel like you are in this big machinery. You wonder whether the doctors and the nurses would want their own family to be treated like that. It doesn't have to be that way, but most intensive care units are still creating those barriers between health professionals, patients, and their families. Some units are more progressive than others, but you probably have a feel by now of the things that could be improved in order to make you and your family more comfortable with what's happening with your critically ill loved one. Health professionals in intensive care are like fish in water, and they often don't realize how the people who are not in the water may feel. A recent article suggested that decisions to forego life support may depend heavily on the ICU where patients are treated. The article explains how the culture in an intensive care unit or in a hospital impacts on the care provider's decision making around life support or withholding CPR or withholding mechanical ventilation. The article suggests that the ICU culture is the biggest influence on a patient's treatment, coming before patient and family preferences. I put a link below in the article. Now, get your free instant impact report by signing up with your email and instantly improve your and your critically ill loved one's situation by learning the secrets about intensive care and the instant action steps you need to take. You can also look at our free Get Your Questions Answered section on our website, where I answer a weekly question of a reader, and I'm sure you'll find useful information there as well. With this in mind, I hope you are enjoying this website and our blog and our information, and please send us your questions and comments to support@intensivecarehotline.com. What are your thoughts and experiences? What are you going through right now? Do you experience a unit's culture as being difficult? Leave your comments below or send us your questions, and I'll see you again in another update next week. Thank you.